Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, this is Lost Cities Roll and Write. This is the full game rules right here, so let's dive on into it. So my hope for this is that you can basically leave the game rules at the bottom of the box. Maybe you'll have to consult them from time to time, but I want you to not really have to use them. So what you're going to need is you're going to want a pen. I really like these Sharpie fabric markers. They're amazing, by the way. Just wanted to share that with you. So you're going to take one of these game pads and these 6 dice right here. So these are 3, 1 through, they're 10-sided die, so they're 0 through 9 is what those are right there. And then you have 3 of these that have different colors on them, 6 different colors on them. So you're going to take all of these and roll. That's how you're going to start. And you want to start with lower numbers. So I'm going to take 1 pair, and there's a 1 right here, so that is what I'm going to start with. And then one of these colors. So I'm going to take the purple 1, and not in the circle down here, but in the bottom square, in the bottom square right here, the purple, I'm going to put a 1. So that's what I'm going to do right there. Put a purple 1. And then my opponent would have a choice. If we're playing a 2-player game, my opponent would have a choice of taking one of these combinations as well. These are pretty dang high, and so my opponent is going to skip this turn because you're wanting to start low, because as you move up in one of these rows, you have to move the next square up, you have to have the same number or higher. And so if I start with a 7, trying to get all the way up would be really hard because I'd have to have 7s, 8s, and 9s. And you can use the 0 as a 10, but that just doesn't give you a lot of options to get all the way up. So my opponent is going to go ahead and skip, and the skip is this right here. So this row on the far right there. Hopefully you can see that okay there. On the far right there, this is the skip. And so there's no problem skipping unless you only skip 3 times or less, then you get negative points. You can see that right there. Or if you skip all the way as many times, which is 9, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you skip 9 times, then you get 0 points. But you actually get points for skipping. You just look at what the number is right there that corresponds to it. So you can see these numbers along the side. So as long as you don't, you're not at the very bottom right here or at the top, you are totally fine. So that's my turn. Now my opponent would take these and roll themselves. And this is perfect. They got a 0. So a 0, only if there's nothing else in that row. You can take a 0 and let's say they want the blue. They now can cross out this very bottom circle. So this very bottom circle right here, they can cross that off. And now what that means is this row, the blue row, will be doubled. The score will be doubled at the end of the game. So super, super helpful, super, super fun. You can really get big points if you're able to do that. And the only other options for me are 8s. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my first skip because that's just too high at the beginning of the game here. Now I roll. There's still pretty high numbers. You get to decide what to do. So that's how you start. That's how the game play works. Now a few different things here that I wanted to show you. There's some arrows right here. And so if I had a purple 2, I could put a purple 2 right here because it is higher than the number below it. It is the same or higher than the number below it. And if you hit one of these arrows, I want you to be able to kind of see these here. If you hit one of these arrows on here, see these 3 arrows right here? If you hit one of those arrows, then you get to take that same number and put it anywhere else on the board that you can fit within the rules of the game. So I could take this arrow and just put it right above it. Or let's say I had another one in this blue. I could put a 2 right here, and I hit another arrow, so then I could do another 2 somewhere else. So it's a way that you can really get ahead of your opponent in the game. Another thing that's on the board that you may notice are these little kind of clay jars or pots. If you at any point in time mark one of those on the board, you go ahead and cross it off over here, and again that corresponds to the points that you're getting over there on the game right here. So you see these pots over here. Man, the lighting looks like it's kind of hard. Do you see those? There are these pots over here right next to where you skip the dice as well. So that's what the pots do. The other thing to mention is over here in the, these are called bridges. So you see the 20-point values once you get up to the 6, actually past the 6, in between the 6 and the 7 of each column. If you are the first one to cross over that, to put, like in this blue column, let's say I had a 3, 4, 4, 6, if I am able to get that high, I can circle that 20. I can circle that 20 right there. Yeah, you can see that all right. Up here, I circle that 20 because I passed it. Once you pass it, you circle what's in the middle there, and you get those points at the end of the game. So that's the exact way that the game works. That's basically all there is to it. Super fun game, really enjoyable. I really, really like this game. It's something that's pretty simple to understand, pick up the concept on. But there's a lot of variety in those decisions that you have to make. Is this something I want to skip? Do I want to try and beat my opponent there? Do I take a higher number? Do I wait for a lower number? Do I wait for a 0? All these different things make it a really enjoyable game that you can replay quite a bit, which I think is super fun. And something that's nice is the backs of these also have the same game board on them, and so you can flip it right over and play another game right after. I enjoy playing kind of 2 games and then moving on. But really fun game. I love that you get to choose something every single time that you're playing. Sorry, something I forgot. Let's say this person that roll, they take 1 pair away, but the rest of the dice in the middle of the table, if you're playing with more people, you just call out what you're taking. So you say, I'm taking the yellow one. The next person could still take the yellow one. So every single person could take the exact same combination after that first person. Hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully that makes sense. It should. So that's another thing that's important to note. Scoring. The last thing here that is worth mentioning is scoring. Look at all this. How do I score this? Well, basically what you do is each row that you're at, you look to the left to see the score total. So this one, I made it all the way up to 30. So I put in the top here, I made 30 points. This one over here, I made it up to 10. So I get 10 points. You put it in that one. This one over here, I made it to 10 as well. This one over here, I made it to 35. This one, I made it to 5. This one, I made it to 50. Hey, pretty cool. And then over here, you'll look at these pots and the times you skipped, and you do the exact same. This one, I skipped too many times, so I get 0 points. This one, I made it to 20, didn't get as many pots as I wanted. And then in the very far right, you count your bridge bonuses. So, I got 3 bridge bonuses, 20, 40, 60 goes right there. And then at the very bottom, you put your total score. So really, it's pretty simple to score. The only thing to keep track of is if you have these X's down in the bottom, then you get to double your score. Make sure you do that. That's where you get the big, big points. But ladies and gentlemen, that's how you play Lost Cities Roll and Write. It's themed really, really well. It's easy to understand. It's fun. It's enjoyable. And I just ruined 2 good sheets, so I hope you're happy. But no, thank you guys very much. Hopefully this is helpful in learning to play this game. It really is a pretty simple one. It is enjoyable. I really do like it. It's got an easy entry level to play it, but it's also got some depth involved as well. So super, super fun. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to get more content like this. I hope to continue to bring decent quality content to you guys on a regular basis. And so hopefully this is something that was helpful for you, that you enjoyed. Lost Cities Roll and Write, How to Play. Thank you guys very much for joining me, and have a good one. See ya.